I'm Molly Roberts.
And I'm Drew Goins. Each Friday on Impromptu, we talk through the questions we can't stop thinking about.
Do we need to rethink how much we drink?
Why are companies really asking workers to come back to the office?
Does boycotting a business actually work?
Should we quit social media?
We're here when the news gets personal and the headlines hit home.
Join Molly and me every Friday on Impromptu from Washington Post Opinions.
Find Impromptu wherever you get your podcasts.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
KFI AM 640, it's later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and, of course, on YouTube. And if you've been missing the YouTube party, shame on you. But it's not too late to get your ticket to the hottest party in town. Just go to YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly, MrMokelly. You can see the show as it happens. You can participate in the show in the chat. That means log on to YouTube. And this is what my mom does, and I recommend for everyone. If you have like a Roku TV, just go ahead and open up the YouTube app. You can find the show. You can watch it on your TV. You don't have to watch it on your phone. You don't have to watch it on your laptop. You can watch it on your 80-inch screen. And everybody wants to see me in 80 inches, high def. Don't start, Mark.
Whoa. I need to see your pores up close, yes.
Whoa. I don't even like looking at myself in the mirror like that. It's like way too much definition.
I did not think about that possibility until you just said that they could put us on a big old screen. It's just all of us, our faces right there.
Well, there's another way you can do it. You can just take out your phone and you can cast it to your television or your laptop or whoever. You don't have to watch it on the phone. You don't have to. I mean, you can. You can take your phone with you because there's nothing better than Mo on the go. I get that. But you don't have to watch it on your phone. Yeah,
now that you said that, I think we need a Pete Hegseth makeup studio in here.
Ooh. Oh, don't get me started on that.
No. This is serious. If we're going to be on people's high-def TVs, we need to look better than we look.
Well, I should start doing push-ups in the studio just because.
Yeah, everybody wants to see that.
Turn the brakes. It's the warrior mentality.
But the ethos. It's the warrior ethos.
Oh, my bad.
Please.
Warrior ethos. But we have so much that we're going to cover tonight. Some of it's silly, some of it's serious, but definitely you want to participate and partake in the show. And the only way that you can really, really do that to get the full experience is to watch us on YouTube and participate in the chat. We have Carnisha who's running the chat, and she is, I'll say, the warden of the chat. You step out of line, she's going to put you in solitary. She's going to put you out of the chat altogether. So just understand, I'm going to be participating as well. I'm going to be typing up some responses. But if you go too far in this direction or that direction, you start saying some really inappropriate things, you're gone, just like that. And it won't be my fault. Carnisha just has the axe, and she is not afraid to use it. But we have so much to cover, I don't even know where to start. But I will say this, and this is actually previewing my final thought. I think we need to have a discussion about the idea of manhood. We have this caricature of what manhood is, alpha males and all that. I don't want to give too much away, but that is going to be my final thought. And it's going to tie into a number of these topics that we're going to discuss tonight. In fact, in the next segment, we have to talk about the Kobe and Gianna Bryant mural, which was vandalized today. And also, shout out to Luka Doncic, who contributed $5,000 at least. I know it might have even been more to have that mural restored. And that's kind of related to what I want to talk about. What we supposedly think is important, who we supposedly respect, and I'm real big on respect. I mean, really, really big on respect. Respect in terms of children towards adults, students versus teachers, young people versus older and elderly, all of that. That's really big in my life. And unfortunately, we live in a society, and I'll talk about this as well, where there really isn't any more respect. And a common refrain that I hear is, well, you have to earn respect. No. That's not something you earn. If I encounter someone who is not being disrespectful, why does that person need to earn my respect? And maybe this is connected to my martial arts experience. I don't walk into my dojo, which is a studio, and have students respect me or not respect me based on whether I prove to them I'm worthy of respect. That's backwards to me. I don't have to prove to a child that a child is supposed to respect me. I don't have to earn that child's respect. I'm going to conduct myself in a respectful manner, but I don't need to earn anyone's respect. And if you think that I need to earn your respect before you will show me respect, well, we're going to have a misunderstanding. Because if you walk around with this idea that everyone needs to earn your respect, then nobody respects anyone. Nobody. Do you think that if I encounter Mark Ronner on the street, he needs to earn my respect before I demonstrate respect to him? Now, you can lose someone's respect by all means, but I think the default switch should be set at respect. I don't need to encounter a woman and know about her to decide whether I'm going to respect her. That's silly. That's really backwards. If I were to say to a woman, you need to earn my respect. You see how silly that sounds? So why is it we would apply that in any other situation? We have a loss and lack of respect in our society because we are so self-centered. We think it's all about someone proving to us individually and collectively that somehow until they prove that we've earned their respect, they have no reason to give it. And that has never been the case. Not ever. Can you imagine going to talking to your child, a minor child, and the child saying, you have to earn my respect? Mother, father, what? Go clean your room. Why? Because I said so. Mm-hmm. We've got it backwards in this society. And I always talk about this permissive society. There's going to be a theme running through the whole show tonight for all the things that we don't like about Los Angeles, all the things we don't like about California. There will be a through line, lack of respect. And we'll get into that next as we talk about the Bryant mural, which was vandalized earlier today. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube right now, and we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio.
I'm Molly Roberts.
And I'm Drew Goins. Each Friday on Impromptu, we talk through the questions we can't stop thinking about.
Do we need to rethink how much we drink?
Why are companies really asking workers to come back to the office?
Does boycotting a business actually work?
Should we quit social media?
We're here when the news gets personal and the headlines hit home.
Join Molly and me every Friday on Impromptu from Washington Post Opinions.
Find Impromptu wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
App.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and YouTube. Last segment, I was talking about respect and how that's going to be a theme throughout the show. And the initial poll that we put up on our YouTube chat. Carnisha, real quick, what did they say? 58%?
Yes, 58% say respect should be earned.
See, I have a problem with that. I have a real problem with that. Let's say, for example, I have a 4th of July party and I invite Mark Ronner, he comes to the party and he brings a date or a guest with him, which is not unheard of. And the date or guest, who I don't know, comes with the attitude, well, Mo has to earn my respect. You are in my house.
Who's the date? Because I'm tempted to take her side.
Mark, okay. Let me use Tawala. He's the better example. But my point is, if the default is someone has to earn your respect and I don't even know you, well, that's just confrontation waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I don't have to earn your respect. Now, if I disrespect you, and we all know what that is, then that changes the future interaction. But just because you walk in front of me, I don't know you from Adam. I mean, what do you mean I have to earn your respect? I haven't even spoken to you. What do you mean earn your respect?
People that say that are individuals who are approaching you with malice in their heart, with aggression, with angst, anger. They're coming at you with a problem, with a bad mood, or whatever the case may be. Because to say you've got to earn my respect, that's aggressive in and of itself. That right there is saying, I have no respect for you at all. And I am going to disrespect you until you show me otherwise. So now you're saying I have to do something. And you also then are going to be upset if you don't like what I do.
It sounds to me, Tuala, and we'll get to the Kobe story in just a second. It sounds to me, it's almost like you're saying, I'm entitled to punk you, which is an old school term. I'm entitled to punk you until you can demonstrate to me that I shouldn't punk you. Like you have to prove that you're worthy of a modicum of respect. Otherwise, then I am empowered to disrespect you.
It is as if going right into the Kobe story, when individuals who are saying that is saying that the artist who painted the Kobe mural is not worthy of his art piece not being graffitied over. As if
How did you know I was going
he
there?
has to earn the respect of the graffiti artist.
We didn't even talk about this story yet, person to person. That's exactly where I'm going. It used to be, and I'm not saying it was okay, but it used to be, and we talk about tagging, it used to be where there were rules to tagging, and it was built around respect. In other words, you didn't tag someone's house. You didn't tag someone's personal property. You didn't tag actual murals, which is different from just someone graffiti on the wall. This is an actual mural of Kobe and Gigi. It was Mamba's Forever mural. It's at 14th and Main Streets. And for some reason, I don't care. I don't respect that. No respect for society. No respect for actual art. Let me just tag over it because I feel like it. I always talk about this permissive society. This is another example. There's just no respect for anything or anyone. And it just boggles my mind exactly how we got here. And we have it up on YouTube, the before and after of the mural. Vandalism, that's not new. But I'm old enough to remember where there were at least parameters on graffiti and tagging. There were some parameters. You didn't do it on someone's personal wall. You didn't do it on someone's garage. You didn't do it on, somewhere where you obviously knew that this was private property. You didn't do it on a store wall. You, if anything, it was left to public walls. It was left to spaces that were not privately owned, like the side of a freeway. And I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying there were still parameters. But there is no respect anymore.
Like a code.
Yeah, a code.
Like you don't shoot a rhino from a moving Jeep and you don't tag somebody's Tesla Cybertruck in their driveway.
Even in gang culture.
Yeah.
There's a code.
Okay.
Yeah, you do not tag over someone's set unless you are looking for an actual problem. That is you going forward and saying, I don't respect you. Not, hey, rival, you've got to earn my respect. That's you saying, I don't respect you. I have a problem with you. I'm looking for trouble.
I would say the difference between, let's say, 25, 30 years ago and now is there is no real pride when it comes to certain components or certain portions of the community. There were rules that were followed. There were things which were respected. There were things that you didn't disrespect. In other words, churches, hands off.
Hands off.
Hands off. You didn't vandalize churches. You didn't try to steal from the congregation. You didn't tag churches. Now, doesn't matter.
It's whatever.
What are you going to say? The church in the neighborhood needs to earn your respect? Going back to that original idea? No, it doesn't work that way. That's more of a more recent phenomenon where people believe that until you can prove you're worthy of my respect, I am going to disrespect you. Do I need to have a random person on the street earn my respect? Does your mother need to earn my respect before I respect her? Think about that. If I were introduced to your mother, Chihuahua, do I need to have her earn my respect before I call her out her name?
Right. This is the logic that we're being presented with.
See it to its logical conclusion.
Like this is absolute madness. The idea of going, and there's in North Hills, not far from where my co-parent stays, there's this building and they're trying, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a Taco Bell, a Starbucks. I have no idea what it is, but they've been building up this storefront for a while. And every time we pass by, for the longest time, it had graffiti all over it. When it was just under construction, it had boards all over the place. And we said, wow, they are really tagging us up. When they took the boards down, we thought, okay, they're up. They're putting up walls, glass, all of that. This is a new spot in the neighborhood. This is going to be nice. Passed by yesterday morning, graffiti all on not just the walls, but on these big glass windows. And I'm like, you SOBs, why would you do that? Why are you being disrespectful to this business that is trying to grow and prosper in the community that you arguably live in? I don't understand that for the life of me.
I was having a conversation. This was years ago. And this was also anecdotal. And I was asking this young person, why is it you don't think that there is any graffiti in Beverly Hills or any of those other communities? And I want to say he's maybe 13 or 14 years old. And his answer was along the lines of, well, they have money. And I said, no, it's not money. It's mentality. It's the mentality to believe that this is our neighborhood. This is our community, be it Beverly Hills or Baldwin Hills. And this is something that either we're going to allow or we're not going to allow. And it's not that they own every other house. It's because they look at it as a contiguous and a connected community. And so they don't want that in the community as far as graffiti. Now, you may not own that house down the street, but if you felt that house was part of your community, you wouldn't dare tag it up. You wouldn't dare put graffiti on it because that's a reflection of where you live. Yeah. Would you tag your own bedroom? Because I'm speaking to a child. So he doesn't think about it in terms of his house. It's like, would you tag your own bedroom? No, you wouldn't. Because why? That's where you stay. Now, it may not be clean all the time. Your mom may say, I need you to clean up your room, but you wouldn't tag it up because that's a function of you and where you live. And if people adopted that idea beyond just where they're standing, then you'd have a greater sense of community. And I think we're getting further and further away from that. That's the point here. And I think when you acknowledge that, then you can see, well, yeah, I'll tag a Mambas Forever mural. Why should I care about that? That has nothing to do with me. You know, I don't need to respect anything in my community because they haven't earned my respect. That mural hasn't earned my respect. It's a mentality that permeates everything that goes on. And it's not just this portion of the community. As we go through the show, I'm going to talk about, once again, here's that lack of respect that we just don't have anymore. Now, you see it play out every single day on social media. That's the most obvious avenue where there is no respect. Don't tell me someone needs to earn your respect before you call me out of my name on social media.
At Mr. Mo Kelly.
Right. No, but I'm saying is, we see it in the YouTube chat, for example. What do you mean I have to earn your respect? I haven't said anything about you individually or collectively. I haven't said anything. And it's weird how, especially in radio, people take everything personally. I could talk about, for example, Donald Trump, and people think I'm insulting him or her or them personally. So the response is not to my argument. It's not to my position. It's to insult sometimes me or people who may look like me or the people who may sound like me, because it's about authoritative disrespect. I have the power, authoritative, to disrespect you because I don't like what you have to say. Not that I've done anything to disrespect that person, but the mentality is there's no need for respect because I didn't earn, quote unquote, their respect.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like the idea of anyone in the chat feeling like anything that is said or seen or heard on the show is worthy of your disrespect because in your mind, you're listening like, well, you haven't earned my respect. So I'm going to start it off with disrespect. I'm going to set it off with disrespect.
It's, hey, Mo, I've got a problem with what you had to say yesterday about bleeza, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. We can go from there.
Yeah.
Because you've come from a position of, let's just say, not disrespect. But from the moment you said we had some people in the chat yesterday get loose, like, I can't believe you let Jackie Ray on the show because of this, that, and the other. We call those ad hominems. Disrespect. But that mentality permeates everything that I see in society today. It's not just the graffiti. It's not just social media. It has to do with how we treat women. There's a reason why Andrew Tate is popular.
Well, with who, though?
Well, but,
with
a lot of people.
Disrespectful SOBs.
Yeah. We're going to get to it tonight. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 Live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. And when we come back, I'm going to disrespect Tuwala for his support of Waymo. See what I did there? We're live on YouTube.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly live on YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly and the iHeartRadio app. Let's talk a little bit more about Waymo. And it might be surprising to you. Well, it may not surprise you, but I have a very different take on what Waymo is considering. If you didn't know, Waymo is owned by Alphabet/Google. Waymo currently operates over 700 self-driving vehicles. And if you've never looked at them up close, they're made by Jaguar, meaning they're not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Quality cars. 300 of the 700 are operating in San Francisco. I can't even imagine what that city would look like with Waymos everywhere. Everywhere. Because when I drive through Culver City and Inglewood and cities in that area, I see a lot of Waymos. A lot.
Downtown LA, too.
Downtown LA?
I pass like at least 2 or 3 a day.
Absolutely.
I mean, I didn't think he would ever get to that level of prevalence. I didn't.
Me either.
And it's here, but it also sets up this story where Waymo is thinking about selling some of their vehicles to individual owners in the future. Think of it like back in the day when you had taxis, you had taxi drivers who owned their own cabs or who would work to eventually purchase their own cabs. Or think of it another way. This could be the next vending machine business. This could be the next, like ATMs where you would buy a car and then you could, I guess, get a portion of the profits, and those profits would maybe go to paying off the car at some point.
Yes.
Or you can own it outright.
Like people that bought like those red boxes.
Exactly.
Like that, right?
Yeah, that's like a movie vending machine. Yeah,
Okay.
I can see where you could have a stream of income by owning a Waymo. I'm open to this. Why? Because I don't have to worry if someone dies in the car. It's not my fault. It's Waymo's insurance.
Yeah, okay. But
don't look at me like that, Carnation. I'm serious.
There's a whole other
respect my opinion.
Aspect that we have to bring back into the story, something that I brought up when this first started coming around. The idea of it, what you all argued against me is I said pretty soon everyday people will have this. It was, no, that's way too far. That's not happening anytime soon. It's literally happening. I think maybe a year from the time that I first said, yes, this will be something that will be everywhere, because first they roll it out on a corporate sense. Then they roll it out to individual business owners. And then everyone will say, you know what? As soon as it's not Jaguar and it's maybe Toyota making them, then it will be in everyone's house.
Why you gotta make fun of Toyota?
People will be saying, you know what? I'm going to go on and get me a Waymo because I've got other things that I need to do while I'm driving on my way to work. Same way when they first tried to roll out self-driving technology in the first place. People were in it. They were trying to do other things. A lot of people were abusing
watching
Harry Potter. But now we're to the point where this works. So again, promise you within maybe a year or two, they will downsize the cost of the vehicles so that you and I can have one. And then it's over. There are no more cars on the street. Everything is self-driving.
Well, if it ever got to that point, I'm with you, because one of my main concerns was I didn't think we had the infrastructure and there were too many human drivers for the Waymos. If there's nothing but Waymos or self-driving cars out there, and we have a lot of movies, we like movie references, like a movie like iRobot,
Blade Runner,
yes. or what else am I thinking of?
Minority Report.
Minority Report. Thank
Hell,
you.
Back to the Future with Johnny Cab. I mean, it's everywhere.
No, Johnny Cab was.
That was Total Recall.
But point is, yes, if that is how people are getting around town, then by all means. And I'm going to get to the point where I don't want to drive anymore just because of age. Let's say I'm 70, 75.
Yes.
And getting a self-driving car, that's 20 years from now. I would think that the technology would be at a point where everyone would have it, and that would fundamentally change the whole idea of the car market.
You are going to see this fast-tracked. The instant that you have individuals owning these things, the very next logical step is to make it marketable for everyday car owners, just consumers, period. That is the way this is going to go in fast order.
And this is, to be clear, Waymo's not saying you can just own your own Waymo. They're saying that you can buy a Waymo and, I guess, profit share in the use of it as a ride share vehicle, not a personal vehicle.
Yes. The reason that I say it's going to move quickly is because this is Waymo's plan. But we know that there are at least two other companies that are rapidly developing self-driving automobile technology.
Tesla and who?
Tesla and
Bezos.
Bezos, yes. Yeah. Both of them are fast-tracking self-driving car technology, and Tesla, he has the buses and he has the cabs, but he is also, Elon Musk has also talked about the self-driving cars for everyday use. He said, we have worked out the kinks in the Tesla self-driving models. And I know a few people who have that and say, you know what? It's too expensive for me right now to keep up the payments on the AI function for the self-driving. But those I know who have it, they love it. Takes them home, parks, all that stuff. They're like, yeah, but just that extra $200-$300 a month. They're like, nah, I'm all right.
Here's where, once again, we have to have the conversation about the evolution of our community and the evolution of our society. If it goes the way that we're talking about, truck driver jobs, gone. Bus driver jobs, gone. Train operator jobs, the whole idea of having someone doing a subway train as an operator, gone. Obviously, any type of rideshare driver or taxi driver, gone. These jobs would not ever come back. There were limousine driver, just about any type of transportation with the exception of a plane, and even that may be in the offing.
Look, we already know that's going to happen. A lot of the opposition, a lot of the individuals vandalizing the Waymos in San Francisco in the beginning,
lack of respect.
The rideshare drivers did not respect Waymo's growth.
No,
they wanted to get out there. They were putting cones. They were jumping on them. These are rideshare operators who saw what? Exactly what you're saying, Mo. They saw the end of their industry coming fast.
I wonder, and let me ask Stefan, have you heard any conversation amongst drivers or with your communication with Uber that Uber is looking in that direction of self-driving cars?
I know that they are, but everyone that I've talked to is kind of sounds like you. They don't want to take a driverless car. They're just too scared. And then the other side is because I usually work Friday and Saturday nights, they like having the conversation. I mean, people open up to me like in a big way.
I've never wanted to talk to an Uber driver. I would rather you leave me the F alone.
Oh no. If you want to be quiet, I'm quiet. But people will just spill their guts to me. Like they'll just tell me everything that's going on in their life, what's going on this weekend, what's going on tonight, what's going on tomorrow night. And, I just give them the best advice I can give. But, that's the other thing that they talk about is that they wouldn't have that person to talk to, which I would think you would like that part.
Yeah, I like silence.
Yeah.
I mean, I may work in radio, but I like silence in my personal life.
I'm the same way.
I don't need to have a conversation. I'm that guy who will get in the cab and will say, or when I got in a cab or a ride share, they'll confirm the address. That's all we need to talk about.
That's it.
Or the driver will say, hey, do you want more air on? Do you want a type of music on the radio? After that, I'm in my own world. Don't even look at me. And I don't want them to take it personally, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to have a conversation. Remember the HBO show? I think it was like Taxi Cab
Confessions.
Yes. It was so amazing to me. It's like, and people just start, to your point, just throwing up and vomiting all over, the cab driver as far as what they were offering. It's like, shut up.
It's really interesting because I know we got to go to break, but it was really interesting because sometimes they'll get in the car and they won't. Like you said, I'll check the address, where they're going, air, fine. And then that's it. And then it's like silent for like 5 minutes. And then if it's like a long drive, they'll be like, so I'm seeing this guy. And then it just goes on from there. And so I'm like, wow, that really was.
They open up like that?
Like that.
See, I'll have someone ask me a question like, oh, so what are you doing in Chicago? I want to say none of your business.
That fast?
And then it go. It's like,
I get
you don't need to know. I'm here to see my concubine. What difference does it make? Just mind your own business. You're driving me from here to there. It's like, so what is it you do? You're here in business, pleasure.
Business or pleasure.
Yeah, I say a little. I'm always very generic. Oh, a little bit of both. I'm going to see some friends. I'm in town for just a little while. One, because I don't trust anyone. You don't need to know what I'm doing, why, or if I'm what industry I work in. I don't need to know all that. Okay, you could be someone like Stefan. The next thing you know, my head has been, I've been impaled, and my head is rolling down a gutter somewhere.
Jeez.
It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ekowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
640 live everywhere, the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and YouTube. I'm looking at the numbers. More and more people are watching. Get in the party. Get into the chat right now on YouTube. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your laptop. You can watch it on your television. You can cast the screen from your laptop or your phone to your TV. It's interactive. We're talking about all the stories right now. And one other story that I know that the chat is going to be talking about. Well, let me back up. There are some things which are attractive in idea, not in reality. Do you remember when you were a kid and you thought about the idea, wouldn't it be great if I could have ice cream all the time, or I could have pizza for all the meals? In a child's mind, those seem like good ideas. Like, who wants to eat vegetables? I don't want to eat spinach. I'd rather have pizza and pancakes. It's a long way of saying some things are better in idea than actual reality. Because in reality, you realize, okay, now I'm dealing with high cholesterol, high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, most likely early mortality. When I talk about this next story, to me, it strikes me the exact same way. Here's what I mean. The Santa Monica City Council is considering a proposal to allow public drinking on the 3rd Street Promenade. Why? Because they want to revitalize the mall, outdoor mall for the most part. And it has not fully rebounded from the pandemic. The plan would allow visitors to buy drinks from local bars and restaurants and then walk around with them in a designated area between 8 a.m. and 2 a.m. I don't know if they mean 8 p.m., but it's printed here as 8 a.m. But it doesn't matter. It means till 2 a.m. in the morning. That probably sounds like a good idea in theory, but in reality, I'm sure it's a horrible idea. How do I know? I've been to Las Vegas. Have you seen the public drunkenness in Las Vegas? The people who are drinking all night long and then they wander into the street and they end up vomiting on a curb and they're just there for the rest of the evening. Don't tell me I'm the only one who's seen that. I can't be the only one who's seen that. The idea is a whole lot better than the reality. Like we talked about Peanuts nightclub, and yes, I'm getting ready to do something and say something which is probably politically incorrect. The whole idea of going to a lesbian nightclub in idea was great. Super sexy. The reality, not so much. It's okay. Let me just use a different analogy. All I'm saying is the public idea of drinking, walking around with your drink, it probably sounds like it's a great idea. I understand why they would want to do that for the sake of the businesses, but the unintended consequences of having people walking around with their drinks, getting into fights, because let's be honest, it's alcohol. And people get stupid when they have alcohol. And if you're going to let them walk around until 2 a.m, open container, there are probably going to be a number of issues and problems that you're also going to have to be willing to deal with, which are going to be expensive. They're not going to be free, and going to cut into the idea of the profits for those businesses who would be, quote unquote, revitalized by allowing an open container policy. And I'm not someone who's anti-alcohol. Trust me. You know, I have Jack bonded. I have Gentleman Jack in my office. At home. Yeah, it's the good stuff.
That's good stuff.
It's good stuff. You know, it's one of those things where it burns going down. Oh, but it feels so good. Feels so good. Mark, what's your weapon of choice, alcohol-wise?
Oh, it just depends. Depends on the season. I think we're still in clear liquid season.
What is clear liquid? There's a brown liquor season?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, over the winter months.
I don't mess with clear liquor.
You don't like vodka? Vodka's like a delivery device for whatever other flavor you want.
I don't like vodka. I do not like gin.
How do you feel about tequila?
Oh, we don't speak anymore.
What?
Yeah. Oh, I try to avoid
That's
tequila.
a young man's game.
Yeah, like an old ex that I can't stand.
You are reminding me about times that the long-suffering one and I were in, say, the UK on the tube, and people are just bleeding drunk there, just horrific,
stumbling around,
out of control drunk, and they look like they're going to puke on you. And I recall the last time we were there, I actually said to her out loud so that the guys could hear us nearby, if this guy throws up on me, I'm knocking him unconscious.
Yes. I just think of public drinking as a frat party, which is going to get out of hand.
Yeah, I hate to sound like somebody's overbearing dad here or agree with you, but it is kind of a problem when people, and you know, also they have an earlier last call there, so they're binge drinking worse than we do. But yeah, the public drunkenness can be a thing if you're a person who doesn't want to be vomited on or otherwise harassed.
I would rather keep it to, and I know we got to go break, but I would say this: if you said you could walk around open container until 11:30 or midnight or so, I'd be more inclined to get with it.
I think a whole generation of people were influenced by the dude in The Big Lebowski walking around with white
robe.
Russians. Yeah. Yeah. Cause that looks really appealing, but it turns out not to be like that in real life. Real life drunks aren't as mellow as the dude.
No, I don't care if the dude abides.
No,
I guess I'm just at that point, get off my lawn and, take your container inside.
We all become that sooner or later.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AIM 640 and YouTube. We're live everywhere. That's it. I'm done. That's it.
We'll help you figure it out. It's kind of what we do.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ickowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.